So welcome back to a quick garden update, and I just thought I would show you what I've been up to. I've not made many videos recently. One likes a break, and one doesn't like to flood the flood the channel with videos for no good reason. So I've had a little bit of a break, and I've been tremendously busy. I've still been finishing my summer house, which I'll show you from the outside later on in this little bit update video, and it's just about complete now. I've got one or two things to finish off, and I've spent very little money. I think I do say later on how much it has cost me now. I'm delighted with it. It's brilliant. It's now fully watertight. I've got the glass in, the roof's all done, and it's quite a substantial building really, and it'll sit 2 people or even 3 at a push. I've done the step up to it and made a proper step and form so you can get into it easier. So that's what I've been doing really, but I thought I'd give you a quick update to show you how. Oh, the door's going to blow up. I've got to put a little bit of a stop in there to hook the door so it won't blow. I thought I'd show you how full up my greenhouse is now. It's full on. With the annuals, and I shall soon be thinking about now setting them out, and so there'll be a little bit of video of the greenhouse and how full that is and how well the plants are doing. So without further ado, on with the video and we'll have a look in the greenhouse. Well, here's the greenhouse, and as you can see, it's pretty rammed now, full of plants. I have to say they're doing all very well. I'm really pleased. Sadly, time is a limitation to how much, there's so much more I could prick out. In a seed tray, when you set seeds, you do often get a lot come up, and then it's limited to the space you've got of how many trays you can do. As I say, if you see, I've got plants absolutely everywhere. There's some of the dahlias there, which are really ready to go out now. Those there, the dahlias, are the dahlias I've grown from seed. Some of them, the bedding dahlias, and as you can see, they're really ready to set out now. There's some. These are Rebecchias down here. Bedding begonias, more petunias. I've got lots and lots of petunias, and I've got a field of geraniums there. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a really rammed greenhouse, and I still want to try and prick some more things out this week because it's not too late. And while even at this stage, these again are Rebecchias, which have the nice yellowy orange flower with the black centres, a bit like a big daisy really, for want of a better word. They are called rustic dwarf, so they don't grow particularly high, so I'm going to try and do some more of those. And I've got another tray over there of petunias, and I never got even, the marigolds. If you have plants like this and you haven't had time, like that tray of French marigolds here, don't worry. You could be quite, when you come to set them out, whether you're setting them in tubs, patio tubs, or in the garden, you can be pretty brutal with those, and just split them up lift them out the tray and then break the roots up and set them like that. They might wilt a little bit, but the marigolds are very tough things, and they'll get over it. Might be a good idea a day or two after you've set them to give them a nice liquid feed. Also, all annuals love liquid feed. I find that's the best way to keep them flowering. And of course, annuals like to be dead-headed as well later on. We're looking down now at the darker colour bishop dahlias that I did the video on, of setting these in pots. As I said, they made lovely plants. That's just at that stage is how I like to set them out now. That is ideal. Doesn't want to be any bigger. It's got some buds. There's some buds already coming on them, which is quite handy if you do get little flowers, because you can see what colour they're going to be if you haven't like me, if some of the labels have fallen out. So yeah, I mean, you know, they are lovely plants, and some of the other dahlias there, these are just a general bedding mix of dahlias that I shall be putting in the beds. There again, these will grow quite big, as you can see. That's made a lovely plant. I can't think I've got the name in this one, but I can't see it. And there again, it's got some little buds forming on it. And there we go. That is really ready to plant out. So you get a few, you know, leaves that want picking off them, etc. If I should probably start setting these out this week, and then be very wary of where I live of any late frosts. But I do have plenty of fleece, and hopefully this time of year, you know, if you cover them with horticultural fleece, even a double layer at night, if it's going to be a cold night, it will keep the frost off, because it's as the frost forms on the leaves in the very early morning, round about dawn time, which is, you know, now probably about 4:30. It's as the, you know, really cold hits it, and the frost can form on the leaves and really burn the leaves up, and it can, you know, take all the greenery off if you get a very sharp frost. It wouldn't kill the dahlia tuber. The dahlia tuber would have a major setback, but it would come back more than likely, but you'd lose all this wonderful you know, new green growth. So obviously it pays dividends, you know, to watch the weather forecast, or just come out. I very often come out at 9, 9:30 at night, and you can tell more than likely if it's sky's clear and it's starting to get cold, then it's worth, you know, getting the fleece out and any tender plants that you have set out in tubs or in borders, and cover them up. So they're the dahlias, and I'm really pleased. And as I say, we'll be following these on and see how they do. I like to show garden disasters as well as successes, and here's a very sad state of affairs, and sadly, when you garden organically and don't like using sprays and such like, it can be very difficult at times. Here we've got some lupines which were set last year, and I grew them last year. Lupines are a bit iffy on my soil. For some reason, this soil can get very dry, then it can get very wet, and lupines don't seem to like it a lot. But we've had a tremendously dry spring here through April. We've had barely, you know, probably only, I was going to say a third, but probably a quarter of the rainfall that we get in April. So it's been very dry, and I have been out watering with a hose pipe very often on plants. But I think the dry and the conditions have led, as you see, I've got a green fly infestation on these lupines. In fact, it's virtually killed that one there. I'm going to leave them. I have wiped them off. I've hosed the aphids off many times. They've come back. I've even got some very mild cold water with some detergent in and washed them off once, and that didn't succeed. So there you go. We all have garden failures, and, you know, unfortunately, probably I've seen some little blue tits perching on these, taking the aphids off. So at least they have benefited from them, and that's why I don't like using sprays, because the wildlife, you know, what is my loss, you know, is the birds' gain. And if you poison those aphids or use a spray on them and then the birds come, that can certainly, when they're feeding young blue tits, that can, you know, obviously cause problems for them and make them lose their young. So there you go. We all have garden disasters, and that certainly is, you know, I think it's mainly caused by the tremendously dry April we've had. I thought while I was outside I would give you a quick update on the very quick and cheap recycled summer house I've been building. this has all been made out of recycled timber out of a bigger summer house that parts of it had gone very rotten. So what I've tried to do is obviously take out the old panels to bits and clean the timber up and use the sound timber, and with that I've managed to build this quite nice little summer house. And I've now got my barge board up with my point on there. I've still got some little bits to finish off on the back, and I've got the glass in, the glazing is in the windows, and I'm really delighted with it. The current cost of this altogether, what it's cost me, is round about, I think it comes to, I've totally added it up, and the total cost is about £42 at the moment in time. That was with some roofing felt and some of this muted clay, cuprinol stain colour, and one or two other little bits, some like screw nails, and but there we go. I think it, you know, it's really kind of brought this little bit of the garden to life. It was always a dead bit of garden. As I say, I've got a path here that goes to nowhere, and they always tell me in garden design you shouldn't have paths that go to nowhere. As you see, the birds have been scratching there. It's so, as you can see, how dry the soil is there. And I shall, when I'm all done, I shall pressure wash these slabs and the bricks and clean it all up when I've finally done, because I've been making a mess here, cutting bits of timber and doing such like. So there we go, that's the summer house. But as you can see, it's certainly a summer house with a view, looking across the meadows there, you might be wondering, I don't know whether you can see that, that huge great pile of wood down the bottom there, just in front of the river. If we come outside and have a better look at that. Can we zoom in a little bit on that? There's a huge great pile of wood there. They have felled some more of the willow trees, and which have gone off to make they've gone off to Essex, the main trunk part, to make cricket bats. There is a video on this channel about that, and these trees, of me walking amongst them, and these trees are grown specifically to make cricket bat, you know, and they make very fine cricket bats, English willow. So, and this is all the scrap wood, all the branches and all the offcuts that can't be used to make cricket bats. And why it's piled there, they're going to have a huge, great shredding, and I really mean, I'll try and film a bit of it if I catch it. They have a huge great shredder machine and a big open-sided lorry, and it's all shredded up, and then that goes to a power station right down in Kent, I believe. I've been told anyway by the trustees that run the farm at the moment. It goes to a power station where it's burnt. Obviously I think it might be dried first, although the wood is pretty dry now, but I think it might be even kiln dried first, and then it produces very little emissions when it's dry and chipped, and it feeds a power station to generate electricity. So that's another great recycling there. There's no wastage at all. As I say, what can't be made into bats gets ground up and is burnt in a power station. Well, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone that subscribed, all the new subscribers, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And as I say, please like, comment, you know, and I hope your garden is growing well. As I've said earlier here, when I showed you my sorry lupines, here it's been tremendously dry in April, and May has started very much in that vein, although we have had a couple of days where we had little drops of rain in the last week or so, but our soil is still tremendously dry, and I now want to get start tidying the bulbs up and get the winter bedding, what I call the pansies and polyanthuses, about done. So I want to start getting that out and think about getting my annual bedding in. and I'm sure there'll be some videos coming along of me doing that. But as always, thank you for watching, and thank you for all the kind words that people say, and as always, thank you for watching, and we will be back with some future videos very soon. And until then, as always, good gardening and my best wishes, and take care, and I'll see you in a future video very soon, I hope. Until then, bye for now.